for long I was trying to design my own, and just took off from there. I went in partners with Mandy Wolf for a while, and then just the last couple of years I brought it home and started doing it here at the house.
So drop a few names for us. Tell us some of your famous customers.
Some of my famous customers?
Or locally famous, you know.
Well, everybody knows the stripper glitter car, which is Mark Smith.
Oh, wow.
I do a lot of... he keeps me in business. Him and his boy Matthew, and his brother Mike. Gosh, I've got a late model up in Illinois, and 3 or 4 cars in Iowa that run pretty good. We've just got, I have the best customers ever, so I've got tons of them.
Lots of local guys.
Lots of local guys.
And gals. We shouldn't discriminate. There's some girl racers out there.
There's some girls out there.
Too. Matter of fact, you used to spend a little time behind the wheel, didn't you?
I did last year. Yeah.
You gonna keep doing that?
I think so. Yeah, I hope so. Knockout kind of took off, and that's where my focus needed to be. So.
Oh no, you've let work take the place of racing.
Well,
at
least my work is race cars, right?
Oh, true.
So
okay,
I get to play race car every day.
Yeah, true.
So.
Go ahead.
So I just don't get to. Race right now.
Right.
Well, I have a driver in my car.
True, you do. A good driver.
I do have a good driver.
And he runs with the Sooner Sport Mod series sometimes.
Yes, he does.
That's good. We like running with the series.
Top 10 in points, by the way.
Oh.
Yes, Christopher.
Doing pretty successful.
He's doing well. We're struggling with the car right now, but we'll get there. We'll get it back going. It's been sitting for a while, and it sat for since last year. I wasn't able to touch it until we just started back up, and so we're struggling with it a little bit, but he'll have it going in no time.
I have confidence in you and in Christopher. he can get it done if anybody can.
We make a good team.
You do. If you don't mind, I think we'll talk to Dusty for just a bit, and then we'll come back to you if that's all right.
Okay.
All right, Dusty, same question for you. How did you get in the graphics business, and what's your connection with racing? And tell us a little bit about Dusty and FB Graphics.
I've been around racing since started at the same Enid Speedway, and I first was a pit hand. Never really drove a race car. Drove one time in a mechanics race. That's about the size of it. But I've helped a lot of the good ones. Used to help Earl and Kenny Dennett with their car back in the day, and that's where I kind of started getting into the graphics part of it. I would touch up their cars and keep their car touched up, and it just kind of evolved from there. And then eventually I moved to Bartlesville from Enid, where I live now. And I've designed for some really fast people. We've done Travis Johnson's. Everybody knows who Travis Johnson is. Johnny Rauschenberg, you had him on here. I used to do his cars. Up until just about a year and a half ago, I did Rodney Sanders' ride in the USMTS. And it used to be me and my daughter. We did cut vinyl starting in about 2006, the old stacked vinyl cars. And about 2008 or 2009, we did 76 in 1 year. And
wow.
Yeah, that was a pretty busy year. And then my son, he helped me, and we did 1 week. There was a car show in Enid, and and we did 9. We went to Enid and lettered 9 cars on a Friday night and a early Saturday morning before they went to the car show on Saturday afternoon. And he told me if we ever did that again, I'd never survive it. So it was kind of interesting. But I want to get back to this. Duct tape thing real quick. I told the story, but I don't think anybody heard it. Duct tape is a graphics person's worst word. We hate that worse than anything. I had back in the stack vinyl day, and I won't mention him, but he's a pretty good race car driver from Enid, Oklahoma. He called me on a Thursday and need his car lettered, and I told him, I said, man, I don't think there's a way I can do it. I'm just covered up. He said, well, that's okay. I'll just put duct tape on it. About 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon in Enid, Oklahoma, in his shop, I finished lettering his race car so he could go to the races that night. So if you ever want to get somewhere with a graphics guy, just tell him you're putting duct tape on, because we can't stand that.
I got to tell you.
It's true.
I got to tell you, I got to the Ridge, which is one of my local tracks up here, and I get up there, get signed into the pit, and I walk around the corner, and they're having the 4-cylinder class up there. Well, in the 4-cylinder class up here, their rules are kind of really finicky, and sometimes they get a little anal about it, which I don't understand. It's a 4-cylinder car, for God's sakes. They make it like it's the damn big block or something. But regardless, this guy is out there, and he's duct taping the damn car. And I said, what are you doing? He's like, well, that guy over there's got the same number as me, so I got to change my number. So he's over there with a frickin' roll of green duct tape to match his vinyl. Now listen to this. With a green roll of duct tape to match his vinyl and putting a 7 over a 9, so he was 67 instead of 69.
You might be able to live with that if it matched close, but...
Well, when he said, the fact that it was the same damn color, and it was, well, I got to match the decals.
Yeah. Yeah. At least it wasn't a white car with ugly gray duct tape. That really messes with the graphics guy's mind.
Or one of them neon pink cars or something with some silver gray.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing this a long time. I've done stuff for a lot of different guys. The biggest thing is I always just try to give them what they want, and I always try to never use the same design twice. So that nobody ever rolls in, and I have 2 cars parked beside each other, and the only thing different about them is their color. I try to always make sure that never ever happens. And I tried to retire from this a couple of years ago. I said I wasn't going to do it anymore. My old computer got to where it wouldn't hardly function, but there's this Ann Fletcher gal that just keeps dragging me back in.
Persistence pays.
That Slater guy kind of gives you a little problems too, doesn't he?
Well, he's flyer happy. He always wants a flyer for this, a flyer for that. So,
And you always come through, Dusty.
He
always comes through.
He always comes through. And like, Steve pops these things on him at the last minute, and Dusty produces,
Uh-huh.
Nothing like 7 minutes before the show. Hey, we really need an opening.
Exactly. That's a Steve Slater original right there. That's his MO.
Hey, that keeps everything going, right?
Yeah,
He likes doing that to us.
That's how many graphic designs we did when we first started working together.
He keeps me scratching my head, let me tell you. He comes up with some stuff every now and then I have to think about it a little bit.
I think one of the funny things
how many cars were on that one file for Stevie? I bet there was 20 designs in there.
Yeah, when we first did that, he sent me something, and I go show it to my wife, and I go show it to my dad. So let's try again. And I go show it to my wife, and go show it to my dad. Then I said, try again, and I was like, everything he did was really great, but just getting everybody to agree was it's not just me.
And that's not just him. I mean, that happens a lot. And, I really try hard to give them what they want, no matter what it takes. I'm just like everybody else. Sometimes I get irritable and grouchy, and I may sound grouchy on the phone, but, in the long run, I'm really going to try 100% to give the guy exactly what he wants.
I thought it was really fun this year because I asked when we started this whole Sooner series that I wanted some stagecoaches on it, and I think he actually hung up on me on that one. But guess what? I got my stagecoaches, right?
You got your stagecoaches.
I got him back though. When he first told me he was going to do this, and he wanted to do a Facebook Live, and he was going to tell everybody about the series and what was going on. So he's on the series there, and I'm signed in, and he's got me in it as an administrator on the page. And, I don't realize that I'm signed on under the Sooner Sport Mod page. I think I'm on my page. So he's talking away, about different things, and I say, hey, Knockout Graphics will donate a half a wrap, to the winner of the series. And it posted as Sooner Sport Mod series. And Stevie's like, I didn't put that.
he was quick. He was quick on the phone.
It does.
And the really funny story behind it is I hadn't even okayed it with Angie yet.
Oh wow!
They know how to work me.
He's out there donating your work without even your permission, huh?
You guys,
That's nice. That's a buddy.
He knows he could talk me into it.
You guys get high dollar, or do you guys get high dollar, or do you guys do any pro bono work?
Oh,
do we get high dollar for race car wraps?
Well, they do lots of pro bono stuff. I'm a witness to that. Well, or pretty close to pro bono. Angie hooked my daughter up last year. Was it last year, Angie? 2 years ago?
It was a couple years ago, I think now.
Yeah, pretty good. She had a wrap all made for her car, which my daughter destroyed it before we ever got it wrapped. But Angie hooked us up really good, and we really appreciate it, and I want to thank you again for that.
You're welcome.
Well, because I have a brand new radio show starting tomorrow, and I'm trying like hell to come up with an idea for a logo for the Apex. And I really and
Dusty's on it.
And I can't afford Fiverr right now.
Yeah,
do you even get a name yet?
Angie knows the magic word to get me to do anything.
Cookies.
Cookies, or she'll say, you probably can't do this, can you?
Challenge.
Yeah, he's always up for a good challenge. And then he'll tell me no. And then about 15, 20 minutes later, I'll get a message. And he's done it.
Yeah,
don't forget,
here's a rough draft.
Well, that's what makes you guys, both of you, so great, is your attention to detail, your wanting to get the job done properly, your ability to work on a tight schedule, and the fact that you come through with flying colors every time. That's what makes you guys stand out.
Thank you.
Let me talk on that for just 1 second, and I'll keep it short. One night, Angie told me, she said, I need to do this sponsor. I said, okay. I said, send it to me and let me look at it. So she sent it to me. So I'm working on my computer. She's working on her computer. We're not attached to each other. Sometimes we do a thing where I get on her computer and help her through a program we have. But anyway, this night we were not. So I changed the colors on it, and I send it to her. And now she's been working on it also. So I send her a picture of it. She looks at it, and she says, you ain't going to believe this. She sends her picture of the one she's been working on, and they're almost identical to exact.
Mm-hmm.
Great minds think alike.
Yep.
We work very well together.
Yes, I have named it. I have named the show for tomorrow. I'm going with the Apex.
Oh, okay.
Just because of the fact that that's my favorite spot to be in when I'm at Lebanon Valley taking pictures. I'm in turn 3 in the Apex. Well, off to the side a little bit so I don't get my ass ran over, but I'm standing right there in turn 3, and that's where I like to get my photos and the video coming into the turn 3 apex. So I'm going to name the show The Apex.
I like that. Sounds like a name.
And Emma Fletcher wants to know, Dusty, how many cookies does she owe you?
She owes me 2 dozen, and I don't want none of them Walmart cookies neither. They have to be home baked.
Oh, they can't even be Pillsbury Doughboy.
Oh, Dusty's a cookie connoisseur.
Yes, he works for cookies.
That's Angie's daughter, but don't ask Angie how many she owes me because she's lost count.
Listen, my daughters have all got Dusty's number out of my phone, and when they need something, they just bypass Mom now and go straight to Dusty.
Oh, wow.
So here's you a good one. So one of the designs he did for my street stock, I had to come up there to Barnesville one night, and he invited my wife and I for dinner. And he goes, I want to make you all a cake. Well, we're like, okay, chocolate cake, whatever, Anyway, he goes, here's a mayonnaise cake. And my wife and I looked at each other like, you got to be kidding me, right? I don't know if you ever tried a chocolate mayonnaise cake, but you got to try it. So, that was kind of one of the first things when we first worked together. That was one. I still can't forget that one. That was probably one of the funniest things ever.
Chocolate mayonnaise cake.
Yeah, it's chocolate cake, but instead of using eggs and oil, you use mayonnaise, which you're basically still using the same thing, but it just makes it real moist. Their brains are all working.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Not only talk about racing, but we talk about cooking too. So
I'm just trying to catch up.
It goes on nightly, guys. We have a group chat in Facebook, Stevie and Angie and me, and we hardly ever go to bed at night before we have this 3-way conversation about what everybody's done that day or what they're doing the next day, and sometimes it's
or sending pictures of what we're cooking.
Yeah.
Hey, did
when you're cooking steak.
Hey guys.
By the way, I invited these guys to come over and have a cookout during the races, and guess what? They drove off.
Hey, I didn't get the memo until 8.
Actually, Dusty wasn't there, but Angie drove off, so I had to give her a bunch of crap over that one.
I didn't get the memo until I was already gone.
What were you saying, Richard?
Yeah.
I was just kind of curious. It looks like Corey Reed. Yeah, that was last night's guest. That's our gentleman that was on for the chassis there. He ducked on off, right?
Curtis, you still here?
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure he's gone.
Nope, he's gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just curious because T.O. Pro Car just got back to me just now, so I was.
Oh darn!
But they still make.
Yeah, he was tired of all our nonsense.
Oh wow! So how much would it cost, or what's that magic word again? How many cookies will it be to see about a logo for the Apex?
We're using duct tape.
Yeah, we're going to use duct tape if you make us.
Dusty would probably do that.
We'll what we can round up for you. We give you something to look at.
He's probably already got it halfway designed by now.
Usually when Dusty's quiet, he's in the middle of something.
It's already working in my brain.
It's already halfway done.
Well, I'm sure.
Now, we better cover this rap thing before we get booted off of here, though. And then Angie's got something else that she wants to divulge, some upcoming and new information too, coming out of Knockout Graphics.
Yeah, Steve kind of dropped a bomb earlier that you have something to tell us. So let's talk a bit about the rap you're going to give away and all of that?
Sure. Well, for the champion of the Sport Mod series, we're going to give a half a wrap away, which is doors, quarters, sales, roof number, roof name, hood sponsor. And they always have the option to upgrade or trade off services, or whatever they want to do.
Cool.
We'll let them have a little freeway.
That sounds like a really, really good prize, or whatever I'm trying to say there, or reward.
Well, I hope so. I hope that anything to help the series out.
Right. And we appreciate it. I know Steve appreciates it a whole lot.
Yeah, I can't ask for anything better from you guys.
He owes me a lot of cookies.
Lots of cookies.
Yeah, I kind of asked her for a few other things tonight for the banquet, and at least it's not 7 minutes before the banquet, right?
Right.
Yeah, we've even been working on some trophy designs. I know Steve has the people that does these trophies for him, but we've seen some really cool trophy things online, and we've been kind of kicking around some ideas that some different things that we might show to them to see what they say. But I don't know, just kind of something different, than getting the usual trophy thing. Something that you instead of just setting it in the shop, you might carry it in the house and put it on your mantle. Something that you'd be a little more proud of.
Sounds very interesting.
Yeah, I'm ready for everybody to be excited. When they go to the banquet, I want them to leave saying, I can't wait to see what happens next year.
So, Angie, what's the big news?
The big news is we're adding screen printing. We just got in a whole lot of screen printing equipment this week. And we're still in the process of getting it all set up and everything, but we will be able to do, T-shirts, koozies, jackets, whatever, hoodies, whatever. But we are, before I've just done, the graphics, and so this is new to us.
Right.
We'll be adding.
Well, if you attack it the way you attack the graphics,
more.
then you're going to be good. You're going to do quite well. If you go at it the same way you've done with the graphics, you're going to be very successful.
Thank you.
Sounds like a perfect combination. You got your wraps there, and then I call Angie back and I say, "Hey, Angie, we need some T-shirts that have the same sort of design as my wrap." And now we've got a one-stop shop.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's what we're shooting for. We've got, by the time we work their design and we get to know these guys over the years, and we know, their style and what they like, and unwrapping their cars, and now, and usually I help the guys out, and I send their designs off, to have T-shirts done and different things done, and now I'll be able to do it right here.
Well, that's great.
So I think
we're working on some specials too. We're going to have some specials coming up probably around the 1st of November. To give the guys a chance to get, a little price break on their wraps and things if they pre-order by a certain date. And another thing that we haven't talked about, I haven't had a chance to talk to Angie about, but we'll probably do. Here I am, throwing things on her, but we'll probably do some specials where, if you buy a wrap, we'll give you so many tees with your wrap for a reduced price off of, where you're not buying everything separately. Everything will be kind of combined into one price.
Right, a package deal.
Oh, snap. You guys do T-shirts?
That'll kind of help the guys out, to where they can they can get some shirts made, you know, and because a lot of guys don't want to do 100 or 200 or 300 shirts, and that would give them the opportunity to do some cool shirts and things that they can give to their crew guys or give some away to family and stuff, you know, that'll match the car and things. And
sounds great.
You guys do T-shirts?
We will be doing T-shirts.
Grandma, get baking them damn cookies.
What was that?
I said, Grandma, get baking them damn cookies, because I need T-shirts.
Oh, my goodness.
How funny.
39.
Well,
Those
let's
breeding
see.
right now.
You know, I don't want to let either one of you off of here without letting you give a shout out to anybody that you want to say thank you to or hello to, and I want to give both of you the opportunity individually to put out your phone numbers or your contact information so that the people listening out there, if they want to get a hold of you guys and order a wrap or some graphics work done or, you know, whatever it may be, they know how to get a hold of you. So who wants to go first?
Well, let Angie handle that first.
Ladies first. All
Of
right,
course,
ladies.
he always does that to me.
First of all, who do we need to thank?
Well, first, I just want to thank all my customers. I have the best customers, hands down, I think, in my book. They're always very supportive of me, very understanding, you know. I try to get out and go watch them race as well. It's a passion of mine. So, like I said, I want to thank all my customers for letting me do their cars, or any of their graphics. And of course, if you, we have a Knockout Graphics Facebook page, or there's my personal page is Angie Fletcher, and my phone number is 405-213-2994. And either me or Dusty, either one, I don't know Dusty's phone number right off, but either one of us can help you out.
So give us that number one more time.
405-213-2994.
Knockout Graphics, you heard it here first, folks. They're going to be doing T-shirts coming up. Of course, they already do some of the best wraps you've seen around the state of Oklahoma. Angie Fletcher is the proprietor, and we appreciate her being with us. We're not saying goodbye just yet. Dusty, your turn. Who do you want to say thank you to, and how do you get a hold of us?
I want to say thank you to all the guys that's let me design their cars for them, you know, and I can't even tell you how many it's been. I'm sure it's up in the hundreds, you know, since I've been doing this. And, of course, you know, I want to thank Angie because she, you know, she does a lot of things. There's been a lot of influences in what I do and people that's helped me along the way. And I've designed for some other graphics companies and helped other people, you know. So, I mean, there's some of those guys out there, All-Star and Woodward and Champs Graphics, and I mean, just different people. You know, I help whoever I can, and the best way to get a hold of me right now, I have a brand new phone, and I don't even know the number off the top of my head. But the best way to get a hold of me is my Facebook page. Just type in FB, which stands for Fat Boy Design, and it'll pull right up. And you can send me a message on there, or you can get a hold of Angie, and Angie and I talk daily. So you can go through Angie, or you can send me a Facebook message, and usually I'll respond to you I always try to respond within a couple of hours, but no more than a day usually.
Cool. All right, folks, you heard it there. Dusty is at FB Designs on Facebook. If you need to get a hold of him for any graphics work, and of course Angie's with Knockout Graphics, she has a Facebook page too, as well as she give you out her phone number, so you've got that. Jot that down and give these people all of your business because they support the Sport Mod series, and we want to support them. Well, Steve, you got anything else?
Yeah, I want to thank both of you guys. Dusty and Angie, you guys have been awesome this year. I couldn't ask for better people to work with. And I can't wait till what happens next year. I mean, 2018 is going to be awesome, and I feel like I see a lot of things happening for us. And I can't thank you guys enough. I know I'm a real pain sometimes and ask for something for last minute, but you guys come out with some pretty slick stuff. It's really great. And I know one thing that next year, my boy, his Outlaw cart will have a new design, and I'm ready for it. And my wife and I already talked about it, and we're going to promote the Sooner Sport Mod series with his Outlaw cart. So that's
cool.
That's going to be real cool, and I can't wait to see that happen.
And that'll have knockout graphics and FB designs on it, won't it?
Well, most definitely will have that on. There is no doubt about that.
Hey, and I want to thank you guys for letting us be part of this and come on here and share some of our stories. And we've had a good time. We enjoy the radio show each week. We enjoy listening to the drivers and what they have to say. So definitely thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being on, both of you. I know I appreciate it very much, and appreciate all the good words there about the show. Steve and I just kind of get on here and hang out, and luckily we have some really great guests who know what they're talking about and make us look real good, and we really appreciate it. And we appreciate you all taking the time to come on here. And Angie, now you've done your first live radio interview. Not as bad as you thought it was going to be, was it?
No, not quite as bad.
After a few beers,
Do what? What did he say?
but after a few beers, it's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
After a few beers, anything, you can stand about this anything.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, whatever.
Seriously, though, we do appreciate you guys being on,
Thank
and we
you, guys.
really appreciate your sponsorship and your help and everything. And like I said, folks out there in radio and Facebook land, if you need something done, these people are the people to get a hold of, whether you need a sticker of some kind for your work vehicle. Wraps are not the only thing these people do. Racing graphics is not the only thing these folks do.
Yeah.
It's just one of the things that they do and the things that they love to do, and that coincides with what we want to talk about. They do all kind of graphic work, and I just can't say enough about it. Like I said, we were very lucky to have Angie create a wrap for Hannah a couple of years ago. We really appreciate it. Thank you again for that.
No, thank you for letting me.
It's always a pleasure, and your unique sense of style is really appreciated.
Thank you.
So, Richie, were you able to get the guys up north on the phone?
Nope. I haven't heard back. They said they were going to talk to them. Of course, I was talking to a Facebook person that manages their page, probably a wife or something, and but they said they were going to try and tell Bob or Matt, I think was what they said, and see what they could do. They weren't sure if they'd be able to call in or not. So, but we'll get them on there now that we've got some contact and response. We'll work out something where we can get a show to have them come on and tell us a little bit about the TO Pro Series chassis, and maybe we can have Curtis come back on and we can talk the differences about it and stuff.
Sounds like a good winter show.
It does.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it sounds like a great show for the winter when we're all wanting something to do.
Especially when I'm ass deep in about 20 inches of snow.
Yeah. You keep that, by the way, this winter, will you please?
I'm looking forward to it. I was moved up to a driver at my job, so I'm gonna be plowing snow this winter. I'm looking forward to being able to work all winter long and not being laid off.
Cool.
So,
I guess some people do look forward to that stuff.
I love the snow. I just got a brand new set of skis today, new to me anyways. So I'm looking forward to getting up on the hill and ski some ski some trails and stuff. I'm looking forward to that. I ain't skied in years. I'll probably break my ass.
So what's going on in racing in New York this weekend?
Well, this Saturday night, I believe Fulton, New York is having their huge Outlaw 200 race. Big race. It's what kicks off our Super Dirt Week. Here in Oswego area, there's like 4 or 5 tracks out there. They basically run back-to-back races all throughout the entire weeks next week. Beginning, I think they said time trials and stuff starts on Wednesday, and then Thursday through Saturday, or Thursday through Sunday, they have races almost every night in Oswego. What's the other track they have out there? There's so many tracks out there that I'm not familiar with because I haven't been into this realm of things enough yet to know all the different tracks that are involved in the Dirt Week. But we have that all coming up. But Brewerton, I think Brewerton is the name of it. I think there's a race out there, part of the Dirt Week, and that's basically the close of our entire season up here until some of our guys go south for Volusia in February. And we've had a heck of a week. We found out that as of right now, Matt Shepard will not be competing in the Outlaw 200. There's a petition out there to get him up and going to try to get him to race. I guess there's a lot of ill will out there and stuff going on. I don't know the scoop. I don't have the story. So I'm not quite sure what the cause is. All I know is the promoter doesn't want to allow him to race on the track. If you do know the story and you're listening, please give me a call. It's 518-952-2944 so we can actually get the truth out of it, because I'm not real sure what the whole thing was. I just got a notification today to go sign the petition to let Matt Shepard race at the Outlaw 200. So there's definitely something going on there. We found out this morning that Kenny Tremont's tires were not treated with chemicals. Therefore, he did collect the trophy and win September 9th, the final night at Lebanon Valley Speedway, and captured a 2017 modified championship as well. It was all hindered on whether or not Brett Haas protested his car, said his tires were chemically induced or something, make his car go faster or something. I don't exactly know that whole thing either, but apparently his tires were not treated with anything. It was all investigated and such by Dirt and everything, but Mr. Howie Commander gave Kenny a call yesterday or this morning letting him know that he won the race and won the championship. So that was good news for the Kenny Tremont fans up here. I'm sure there is a lot of animosity there. Tomorrow night, here live on Dirt Track Racing Network, we launch The Apex, a brand new radio show hosted by myself. Going to have my very first guests will be none other than Rick Duslack as well as Chuck Towsley. They're going to come on. We're going to talk a little bit about Chuck's suspension and disqualification from Lebanon Valley with the motor that was in his car found illegal and whatnot, and it had a higher compression ratio than it was supposed to have and some other stuff. But they're going to come on. We're going to talk a little bit about that, and we got some big announcements coming for the 23 team as well as the 29 team of Rick Duslack. So we got some really good stuff going on there. Also, in-house guest tomorrow evening will also be the WSPD Digital Broadcast Maverick Radio / Dirt Track Racing Network sponsored 3B. Billy Yeager is going to sit in-house with me, and once Rick and Chuck are done with talking to us about some pro stocks, we're going to get into a little bit of street stocks with Billy and hopefully get a few callers to call in on that, weigh in on the season in Fonda, as well as some of the other local tracks that I was able to visit this year. They had some excellent street stock frenzy races at the Ridge, and some great pure stock racing, street stock racing out at Lebanon Valley all summer long. So that's basically what we're going to start with. That's this week's. Next week we're going to have Josh Coonrad, 00 Pro Stock driver, and his brother, I think it's Chase Ossaker. I believe Chase is how you say it. Chase Ossaker on as a street stock guest. So we're I think the Apex is going to dial into a lot of street stock and pro stock guys, only because I got to know quite a few of them this year. Had some great talks with them. Our friend Zach Sorrentino, that's going to be on our documentary television series that I will be working on production and putting all the videos and this, that, and the others together. Zach Sorrentino pulled away with a third-place finish Friday night and a first-place win. Won the trophy at Fonda for the Thunder in the Mohawk weekend. McDonald's weekend, they call it, up here at Fonda, the final weekend. So he's pretty excited to be able to have brought his street stock over and race it at Fonda and win the race. And so we're probably going to get him on sometime soon and talk to him, but we don't want to go too much into a lot of things until we launch his episode of the TV show, because a lot of the things that we're going to talk about with Zach are what's going to be in the video. So we want to release that first and then get him on as a follow-up for what his plans are for next season. And we got a lot of different stuff planned out for both the Apex and the television documentary series. It's just a matter of me having time to sit down and get some production done here in the studio and put some videos and stuff together.
Well, I can't wait to see the series.
It's going to be fun. The video is not all 100%. It's not perfect by all means. I got a loaner camera this year that I was able to loan for a little while and basically do the best I could with learning the camera. So it's going to be a big learning curve for me. And a lot of my video that I took throughout the summer when I didn't have a camera was literally on my cell phone. So it's just to get my foot in the door, learn the stuff, learn everything, and I'm kind of hoping that some sponsors are going to be willing to come on board and sponsor the show in a good way, so that next year we can go full bore, get some really good cameras, and get out there and get some really good top dollar footage, because it's all about the race car drivers. That's exactly what the whole series is for. It's to give back to them a little bit, tell their story, their backstory, and the grassroots and the heart of dirt track racing, the title of the show. We want to go back to the grassroots and find out where these guys learned how to drive and why they do what they do every day to get their car on the track come Saturday. And we got some really good guests this year, and we got some really good ones lined up for next year. I was able to speak with Mr. Stuart Friesen this past Saturday night. Honored to meet the man. And we're going to be able to get him on the television show. He actually approached me about it, asked me some questions about it, and we went ahead and I gave him a card and everything, and we're going to get him on the show as well for next season. So it's going to be kind of nice to get some of these hard-working kids and guys that are out and ladies that are out there working really hard to get their car on the track and everything, but also have someone like Stuart Friesen, who started where they are now and now drives not only a modified and a sprint car, but drives a NASCAR truck. So it's really going to have some pull there to have him on, switching from dirt to pavement in NASCAR.
Kind of run the full gamut there, huh? From the newbies to the very experienced.
Well, yes, and the thing about that is you get with some of these very experienced, and like when I first started the show, and I tell these guys in the pits, everybody does know Kenny Tremont, and everybody does know Brett Hearn and those names, and Stuart Friesen and Rocky Warner and stuff, and I want to include them because they all started somewhere too. They all had a grassroots. Right. They all,
absolutely.
Every one of them started in a 4-cylinder or a street stock or a pro stock somewhere. and work themselves up to be what they are today. And so,
like our own guy over here in Oklahoma is Christopher Bell. I mean,
I was just going to say, Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, both of those guys, started out small, and now look at them.
Absolutely, and that's the thing, and that's the story we want to tell in the documentary show. We want to be able to tell, where they came from, where they started. Did they grow up in a racing family where their parents and their grandparents and their uncles all raced, or did they just, come out of the gate doing it? We've got
you always want to influence. You always want to influence these kids that, there's something out there for these kids if they want to go into racing. You can work your way up to that. So
absolutely,
so that's a good thing. That's the future of racing.
We have a wonderful young lady coming on that's a part of our show this year, one of our very first episodes that we're going to launch this year. And she's a third grade teacher. She teaches third grade with troubled kids down in Massachusetts. And in the summertime, she gets behind a limited sportsman and drives a 602 crate sportsman car. So we're looking forward to having that show on. We had some great interviews and talks with her, and we're actually going to talk to her again very shortly because she was able to, in her final race this year, took a third place finish, which she was really excited about. I was there for the tech of it and everything, and her first reactions of getting out of the car, finding out she took third place in the race, and very memories like no other.
Yeah, I even just all the way down here, I'm familiar with her, so it's pretty interesting. Should be a great show.
And Zach, we're going to talk to him. He's a Marine, and races when he's not in the Marines. So we have a whole bunch of different guys and girls that are going to be on this show that have complete different backgrounds and where they come from, and they just have the heart to race. They just love bringing their car out on the track every weekend, and they just love doing it. And that's a story we want to tell.
I think it'll be real exciting to see. It's great.
So
Go ahead.
I'm getting the 10-year-old stink eye, so I think I might have to call it quits very shortly, but I just want to take a little bit of time to thank all of our sponsors one more time this evening for helping us get this show on the road and do the things that we do. I want to, by all means, the two biggest ones I want to thank, just this show, but for the radio station as a whole. I want to thank David Kilmartin and all of the Fonda Speedway Memories pages. It's a group of guys that they just share memories of the past. They actually shared one. It was from like 1950 the other day, an old newspaper article with the old 1950 modifieds in there. So they really go with the history of it. They sponsored the radio station, helped us get the wires and cables we needed. But another one that helped out in a big way was the Sooner sportsmod series itself. Also helped us out, making sure we got all the cables and all the little plugs and whatnot we needed to fix all the audio issues we had all summer long. And without them too, tonight couldn't happen, and neither could the rest of the week.
Well, I enjoy this show so much, so I want to make sure that we get to do this every week, and it's been something I look forward to every Tuesday, and can't wait to have another one, every week. So
that's been a lot of fun. It's been very interesting. We've had some really great guests, so yeah, it's definitely worth the investment.
And we're growing up. We've got a ticker across the bottom of our screen. We almost look like we're ESPN Sports Network now.
Yeah.
Steve, how about you run through the sponsors of the sportmod series again?
Yeah, like I say, I can't thank these sponsors enough. These guys are great. David Stukens Photography, FB Designs, Knockout Graphics. And, I'm glad to have them two on board tonight. It was good listening to them, coming back with all their stories. High Tech Tackle, like I said, we still have that AR-15 raffle ticket up, so don't forget, October 22nd, you have your AR-15, $10 a raffle ticket.
Somebody's going to win that thing.
What's that?
Said somebody's going to win that thing.
Somebody's going to win it. You can't win it unless you get one. So.
Yep, you better buy a ticket.
And Gore Family Athletics, the Ellis family, Steve's Automotive Machine, Smiley's Racing, they're coming on board, and 41 Shots. Can't thank you guys enough. You guys are. It's great. We're having a really good season this year, and 2018 is going to be really huge, I believe.
Absolutely. I want to thank Curtis Allen for being on tonight, Western Flyer Race Car Chassis. It was really great talking to him and very informative, and we're going to try to get him back on again and talk with the guys up north or out northeast and get a little back and forth between them about the differences and the similarities in the cars. And, of course, thank you to Angie Fletcher and Dusty White from Knockout Graphics and FB Design. It was great talking to those folks. And we want to thank everybody out there in Facebook land and on radio. And of course, thanks to Dirt Track Racing Network for letting us on and giving us this time slot to be able to get on here and talk about the Sooner Sport Mod Series and, goof around a little bit, have a good time. And we really want to thank everybody, like I said, for tuning in and listening to us and putting up with us.
Yeah, and one more thing. Don't forget, October 7th, we're going to be back on Enid Speedway and slinging some more dirt. So
Historic Enid Speedway. We will return.
Yeah, can't forget about that. Like I said, it's October 7th. Gates open at 2 p.m. Hot laps start at 5. And the races start at 6 o'clock. So, and I believe they're going to have sprint cars that night. Am I right, Larry?
I believe that's correct, sir.
So we have a pretty full schedule that night, so it'll be a good show.
Yes, it will be. All right, well then, for everyone here at the Sooner Sport Mod Series show, I want to thank everybody again for tuning in. Hannah, it's time to turn the radio off and do your homework and graduate from college someday. Daddy loves you, and we'll talk to everybody later.
All right, thank you very much. All right, this has been a Sooner Sports Mod Series radio show broadcast live at Dirt Track Racing Network here in Perth, New York, all the way from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Thank you for tuning in tonight to the Sooner Sports Mods